Can you believe that we are already at the end of another epic year? And can I just say and get a witness for a second that this year, 2022, has truly been epic and amazing as we as a world, as a nation, have come up and out of so much and healed and recovered from so much. It's been a fantastic year as we've returned to work, as we've returned to getting back to a semblance of what we knew pre-pandemic. And it has been a great year for me as a new podcast host. And it's been a great year in our family and for our business. And for the people that I know, they've had such an exceptional year, even for those that have gone through hard times and even tragedy. In today's episode of Playing in the Sandbox, we're going to talk all about finishing strong so that you can set your new year up for excellence. So let's get into it. Thanks for joining me in the Sandbox today. I'm Tammy J. Bond, your host, and we're going to kick off our shoes and dig our toes in and get into this topic about setting the stage for excellence in 23 by way of bringing things to closure in 2022. Now, you're going to want to make sure you get your pen and paper ready, and you're going to want to take lots of notes. I know that. But you're also going to want to head over to tammyjbond.com/podcast and click on today's episode to get your copy of the most recent action plan, because there are more tools. There are little social images that you can share. There are tools to navigate closing out strong and setting yourself up for excellence. So head on over to tammyjbond.com/podcast and click on the episode, Setting the Stage for Excellence in 2023, and get today's action plan. Let's get into the conversation. So tell me, what are you doing to prepare for 2023? What are you doing, leader? What are you helping your people do in preparation for this new year? You know, if you're like most people, you're probably, well, maybe I'll say it this way. I don't know if most people do it. I know I do it. Let me be clear. I get really fatigued with all of the posts that I see about goal setting and here's your planner for the new year and all the new tools and techniques and tactics and social tools that you can use and apps that you can put on your phone and on your devices that can set you up to goal set for a great new year. Blah, blah, blah. Or as they used to say on Charlie Brown, wah, 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 wah. Do you remember her? She was the mom. Anyways, I digress. But I get tired of it. And the reason for that is it's all just the same old information, right? It's just all repurposed, regurgitated information that if we did what we learned 20 years ago, right? Or 15 years ago, or for some, maybe 5 years ago, and we actually applied it consistently, we wouldn't have to listen to all of the pundits that are talking all the way around how to set your, goals for the new year and your resolutions. We know resolutions don't work. We know that. It's a commitment to self first. And we can go through all of the framework of 1, why resolutions don't work, and 2, how to set yourself up to actually win at those goals that you have. But there's a lot of people out there talking about that. So you don't need me to be a repeater of that. That's not why you're here today. I have 2 main points that I want to nail today as we close out 2022. And no, I did think about maybe I should give them 22 points in preparation of going into 23. Nope, not going to do that. There are 2 main points that I want to cover with you. I want to cover finishing strong and the why behind it's important to finish strong. And I want to cover setting yourself up for excellence and what that looks like and how it's tied to, first, finishing strong. And let's go there and just talk right into why am I a firm believer that we finish what we've done and where we are, we finish strong, whether it's a relationship, whether it is a working relationship in a job, whether it is a year, whether it is finishing strong on completing an assignment that you have for your boss or for school, if you're continuing on with education. It's about the integrity of your word and what you say you're going to do. When we finish strong, We leave things complete and healthy and whole so that we can open ourselves up to move forward into something bigger, greater, grander, and better. But without finishing strong, when we leave loose ends, those are like threads coming out of a beautiful tapestry called you. And our life is a tapestry. And when we don't finish strong or complete what we started, we have threads that are just waiting to be pulled and tugged on by the other things that we aren't finishing in our life, in our world, in our homes, in our families, in our jobs. And those, as a tapestry, if you pull on those loose threads, that beautiful tapestry starts to unravel. And that's where we start to spin out. So, friend, can I encourage you with this? Go through your goals from this year and bring all of them to completion. If you're going to take a goal forward into the new year, be intentional and focus on why you're taking that forward, what you expect from that. Be clear and honest with yourself of why you didn't achieve it, right? But bring closure to 2022 by wrapping up those loose ends, being complete with them, feeling confident in your completion before you try to set something new for the new year. And again, there are many tools out there, and all you have to do is Google, because I actually Googled goal setting for 2023 just to see how many hundreds of thousands of hits came up on my Google search, just to see who's already posted about this topic. And I want to encourage you. Your team actually will benefit in the workplace by you also going through the exercise of what do we need to bring completion to? What do we, and let me just say this really quick and in a hurry. That completion can simply be speaking to, we're still not done with this project. It's got another 6-month lifespan. We have a plan for moving it forward for 6 months into 2023. Acknowledge we did not get it completed in 22. Here are the 2 or the 5 reasons why we did not. We're not passing blame. We're acknowledging what got in our way, right? So that we can create an awareness of those landmines so they do not trip us up going into the new year. That's bringing completion and closure before we move forward. Because while, yes, it's just the turn of a calendar, and yes, it's the ball drop, and it's, the pop of the cork of champagne, or whatever it is that you choose to do to celebrate at the change of the new year, it is significant, and it is turning a page. It is creating a new chapter. And as someone who has had the blessing and the grief and the pain and the amazing gift of changing a new year because of things I was leaving behind, and the excitement of what, an anticipation of what was to come, I understand the value in turning the page. And that's what I want you to understand. Closure to the things that were incomplete, right? So that you can open up to what's possible in the year to come. Your people on your team need that too for the work that they do. So it's not just going through, I want to send people into a new year with anticipation and excitement. And I do this with my clients. I've done this with teams that I've worked with. I do this in my own personal life every year. I pick a word for the year. That is nothing new. I'm sure you've heard it before. But the reason that I do that is my singular focus for the year, and everything that I do throughout the year actually ties back or into that word. So that is my North Star for the year, so that I have a direction, something I'm believing for, something I'm being intentional about achieving, something that I want to tie in the work that I do to that word so that I am consistent in all ways. I don't wish to be a person, and I think this is where people get stuck on goal setting. I think it's where people get stuck on those resolutions, and I think it's where people get burned out on all the New Year's hoopla of, oh, we get a chance to start fresh and start new. Okay, it's just one day. It's just one click on the clock, and we're in a new day and a new year. And that same click on the clock happens at midnight every night. No matter what time zone you're in, it happens at the same time in your time zone every night. And it's a new day to start fresh and to start new. But we're starting our new days just like we often are starting our new year, with all this baggage and hang up and hurts and the habits from our past that we've never brought closure to. And we think they're not going to bug us or get in our way. And you know what? They do. And so then when you come into the new year and you're excited and you're championing and cheerleading for your team that it's a new year and we've got new targets and new goals, and the sales board is starting over fresh, or whatever it is that we're starting new, people don't get excited about that because they didn't finish strong with what they left behind. They just left it behind. So bring closure to it, bring completion to it, wrap it up. In fact, one fun little tip in wrapping it up, when you go into the holidays, wrap up all the incompletes in a pretty box with a beautiful bow and go ahead and toss it in the fireplace and watch it burn. And why is that? I'm wrapping up what I didn't complete. I'm sending it out into the atmosphere, and I'm releasing it. And I'm making a commitment of what I'm taking forward with me. Whatever goes in that box stays in that box. We're not picking it up again. And we're only taking forward the things that we want to bring completion to, or maybe I'll even use the word intentionally, need to bring completion to in the new year. But be intentional. That is my whole point with this. Be intentional. Close up what needs to be closed up. Be intentional about what you take forward. And I encourage you to get a word for the year. What's your focus? What's your heart? What's that vision that you have? It could be personal. It could be professional. And it could be health related, right? And it could be something achievement oriented. But pick that word for the year that becomes your singular focus that everything ties into. And it becomes that perfect, beautiful harmony when everything's just working together so perfectly, because you've brought closure to what needed to be closed. You were intentionally focused about what you're taking forward with your clear action plan and by when, which takes me to the goals of if you're going to have goals, y'all, you got to have an action plan to them. Okay. So again, lots of other resources out there, and some of them will be in your after action plan, I should say, for today's episode. I'll have some things in there for you to focus on when it comes to goal setting or really envisioning what you want to create. But when you're setting yourself up for excellence, here's the thing, friend, you cannot set up for excellence what you have not brought to completion. Meaning, if I still have things hanging out there and baggage hanging out there that I have not properly brought to a close, I'm not going to set myself up for excellence. I'm actually setting myself up, or I'm setting my team up for the same results that they just didn't produce. And we're going to go into the new year not producing the same results because we haven't brought completion in the areas that it needs to, or acknowledged why we haven't brought completion. Sometimes it's simply just acknowledging, wow, we put a goal out there, we put a target out there that was completely not right. And we kept trying to hit it and we kept running into it, but it wasn't working. Why? Because we didn't recast the vision to achieve a new goal when we realized what we were doing wasn't the right goal to be going after. And sometimes we just get so stuck on and stubborn. Oh, well, I have this on my goals list, so I have to achieve it. There are no have tos. Choose to, get to, want tos. And we have an accountability system in place. When we have that with our action planning process, that focus on what we want to achieve, right? I I can't talk. I can't. I actually heard something that really resonated strongly with me. And it was this: that you may not be able to change how you feel, right? Your feelings on a certain topic. Let's say you didn't achieve a major goal from 2022 and you're looking at 23 going, well, why bother? Okay, I'm really frustrated. I am hurt. I'm angry. Whatever those feelings are, I want you to grieve and feel the feels, right? Feel the feels. Give yourself a time limit to feel the feels, because you can't necessarily change the feelings. And maybe that's not the goal, but the goal ought to be changing the focus. Because when we're always focused on how we feel, or we're always focused on what didn't work or what broke down or what we didn't achieve, well, that sets our framework and our thinking and in our mindset and the vision that we're setting for ourselves. Guess what? It sets it up to be not achieving. Okay. So change the focus to what you are going to achieve. Tie it to that word of the year that is your beacon for the year. Tie it to the heart of what you're wanting to achieve with your team. You know, speaking of team and word for the year, one of the greatest things that you can do as a leader with your team right now in preparation of going into this brand new year is have each of them select what is their word for the year and share it. And there are some really cool things that you can do with that. One, in every of those 20-minute check-ins that I tell everyone to have with your team members, you actually can ask them how they're modeling their word for the year, how you can support them on achieving their word for the year, what that word of the year means to them, what that looks like with the work that they do. What does that look like in their personal life for that word of the year? When you know that, you are now connected at a whole different level with the members of your team to set them up. And I have seen teams do art projects, go and do a team building exercise, which you know me, I'm not a fan of team building exercises because I don't think they really work. But if we're going to go have fun, let's call it, we're going to go have fun and we're going to paint a picture, and we're going to paint a picture of our word of the year, which I love that idea. Call it that, not team building. And then they bring the words back to their offices and they have their words of the year, and it becomes that, again, that beacon that they're focused on. So everything is aligning to that word and it becomes that vision for the year for them. Such a cool tool. And again, if we have not closed out the previous year, it makes it really hard to go after the new in the new year because we still have the lingering what ifs, why didn't, how come, what happened. Close it out, complete it, be done. Put it in a beautiful box and toss it in the fireplace and sip a cup of tea or something stronger if you like, and let it go. And then start fresh to say, okay, what am I choosing to take forward? And what is it that I'm creating new so that I achieve my end result? You may not feel like 2022 was your best year. You may not feel that it was the year that you envisioned and it didn't end the way that you want. You may have gone through big health issues. I know people that have. You may have gone through loss. I've experienced that myself in previous years. And I want to encourage you, take time to grieve. Take time to grieve, take time to feel the feels that go along with that, and then identify, if not this, then what? What do I want from here? What do I need to feel strong and confident in moving forward? Take that time to feel the feels. Change your focus on what the have nots to the wants, right? Choose to, get to, want to. What you focus on gets your attention. You've heard that. When we lean in that direction, we move in the direction of that dominant thought, that dominant picture. And I want to encourage you, if you don't like the outcome that you have sitting in your lap from this year, and you want something to be different for next year, it's time to wrap up what didn't work this year, bring closure to it, say goodbye to it, then focus on the changes you want to make so that you achieve all of the outcomes, all of the dreams, and all of the goals that you have before you. It's just like you to succeed with everything you lay your hand to and everything you put your focus and attention on. It's just like your team to do the same because you're modeling it for them. And as you bring this year to a close and you get hyper focused in on what you're bringing closure to, the next steps, I promise you, will become so easy of what you want to create. And you know, friend, you may be like some people I know, and you may not be one to actually even put any thought into going into the new year or goal setting or setting up a new plan for the year or anything like that. And that's okay if that's what you choose to do. But again, where is your focus, and are you achieving the results that you want to achieve? That's how you set anything up for excellence. What's the goal? Where is my focus? Am I achieving what I want to achieve with the focus that I presently have? And if you can answer all of those in an affirmative way and very clear, you're doing the right things. If you can't, then the opportunity is to investigate the answers you aren't able to come up with yet and find the answers to fulfill that promise to yourself, to live a life of excellence, to live a life of success, and to live a life of satisfying the dreams and desires of your heart. You know, one thing that I want to add in before I forget is this. I want you to write out a list of things that you are celebrating from your this last year? What are you celebrating? What are you acknowledging about yourself? What are you so pleased with and happy with? And I also want you to write out the things that didn't go the way that you wanted them to go, right? That didn't work the way that you wanted them to work. I want you to have the contrast. I believe that you have a list of greater things, that the successes and the wins, than the losses and the pain points. And I want you to acknowledge and celebrate the good things. Focus on the direction of the positive. That opens your mind up to that creativity that you're looking for as you get ready to step into your year of excellence in 2023. You know, I'm celebrating each and every one of you, and thank you for listening to my podcast. It has been an incredible fun time creating these episodes, and I've loved engaging with my audience, and thank you so much. It would be an honor if you shared this episode with a friend, share the podcast with your community of people that follow you or that you're connected with, that you think could truly take just a little bit of encouragement in the way that they lead themselves and the way that they lead others. It would mean a lot. And I would love it if you'd leave me a review wherever you download and listen to your podcast. Leave a review, just click on the 5 stars and write a comment or two about the tips or something positive that you've gained this year from playing in the sandbox. I'm honored to be in your community, and thank you that you bring me into your space every week with the podcast. And I look forward to what 2023 is going to bring each of us. Happy New Year.